Hello everyone and welcome to another one of our dungeon videos. This time we are looking at the other side, Mythic Plus. We're going to be doing all the dungeons and all the raid bosses. So yeah, keep checking back on the channel and having a look, see what you think. These are like beginner's guides. We're not like MDI players or like Echo or Limit or anyone like that. We're just a group of friends just doing the keys. Nice and chilled. And this is basically just a guide just to show you some of our pathing, what we do, um, the bosses, the trash and whatever. So, for instance here, other side at the start, we just did a massive pull of all of the mobs. Um, some weeks you might not want to do that, but this week with the affixes we've got, it was fine. So you just got the two little mobs that stand on the top of the stairs, and then a big group down here at the bottom of the stairs, and we just grabbed them all together. I saved my Metamorphosis and all our big cooldowns, just jumped in and just nuked him. So for this key we have, well, first of all it's a level 12, we have Tyrannical, which means the bosses are a lot harder, they have more HP and do more damage. We also have Bursting, so when a mob dies they leave like a debuff on the group and you can let it wear out, or if you just keep killing it, it's just going to be a lot of strain on your healers. Just 4 or 5 is probably a good stack to stop at. And then we also have explosives, which are great fun. Basically, they're just orbs that just spawn around the mobs, and they just need to be killed. If they're not killed, they will blow up and do big damage on the group. You can line of sight them, and you can do some tricks of them, but they only really take one hit. It doesn't really take a lot to kill them. So we went up and pulled this pack and we dragged it upstairs because there's like a patrol, like a red raging mob that comes. We just let him walk back and we just pulled this pack upstairs. There's lots to interrupt here, lots to avoid on the floor, but the main thing is that erupting darkness that the boss does. He just aims it in a location and then just shoots it out in a line, and if you get hit you go back miles and pretty much flown off the platform and to your death. So there it is there, just avoid that. Now what we do here is we now go back on ourselves. Well, we carry on going round to pick up this trash down here. And the reason we're doing that because it's a tyrannical week and we want to spawn the prideful on the first boss, and there's not enough percent upstairs to do that. So we're going to pull this red dude who just does a bit of damage, but then splits into like multiple versions of itself with these masks, and they just do like pulse and damage as well. So just avoid the red patch on the floor and just nuke it down as quick as possible. We do also have a Night Fae player. If you have a Night Fae player with you, there's an urn just where this mob is here. You can't really see it now because it's been destroyed, but if you click on it, it does a massive like AoE stun to everything around it. So just use them to your advantage. And then we go down here. And all we need now are these 2 mobs and this little pack of like skeletons here, and then it's going to be enough to spawn our prideful. So on a bursting week like we've got now, you kind of want to just nuke anything you can and not kill everything at the same time because it'll give a shitload of stacks. So just go for here we just took out the lower mobs to get 4 stacks, let it wear off, and now we've put more in the right to kill these next mobs. We did also get the red dude coming out as well whilst we had the prideful mob and those 2 big mobs. So as you can see, that didn't end up very well, but it doesn't really matter because we still spawned the prideful. So we're going to go back. That big dude we don't need. I think we've marked it so it runs away. And we're just going to kill these 2 warriors with the prideful. I don't know if you can just pull the prideful on its own. I think it might be linked together. And we've put some marks on them. That's probably because we've got 2 druids here. And these mobs, the big skeletons, the skull and the cross, they do a enrage. And if they're enraged, they cannot be killed. So you need to just soothe them, and it takes off the enrage, and then you can kill them, which you'll probably see in a minute. which I think happens when it gets to low health. Not ideal with the prideful out, I must say. So there's the skull dead. That's fine. Just cross left. Our healer's gone down. This is not going well. This is a tricky old group here. Tank's holding on for dear life. So I should say about the prideful, they spawn every 20, 40, 60, 80 and 100%, and it's just this big red blob thing, and that spawns pulsing out damage, and it builds up the longer it's up. So obviously you need to kill it as fast as you can. And then it also shoots out red beams from one player. So if it's you, just make sure you're in a position where you're not going to get, and where you're not going to hit anyone. If it isn't you, just make sure you're in a position where you're not going to be hit by the red orbs that fling out. But it's dead. That pack's dead. We're on 24%, which is perfectly fine for what we need up here. So yeah, try not to do what we did and get the red dude with the prideful with those two big dudes. And then we go up to the Hakar wing, if you want to call it that. Soul Grub wing or whatever. And this place is shit. And there's a lot of horrible mobs in here. And the priests that need to be healed, those Hakar things that have come out now, need to be killed before they transform into those worms, because when those worms die, it does this massive shitty red patch on the floor, which does shitloads of damage, which is going to kill me. I popped a health stone, and I think I got healed there, which was good. Another one of these priests, and you've got to watch out for the Deathwalkers who do a Blade Storm, which can be stunned and pushed back at the right time. But luckily it's not a fortified week, so we can pretty much burn down this trash quite quickly. There's another Blade Storm coming out. I think the Druid's tucked it in with a Vortex to interrupt it. Get that fucking priest dead before he runs and pulls the rest of it. And then you've got the Hexes, which when they die, they spawn a spirit, which you can see out now. And the only way to get rid of it is to purge it. So I've got one. Can't do the next one. And it got me. But it's alright, he spawned just outside, so it's not the end of the world. This isn't my favourite dungeon, I should say that, as you can probably tell. So there's another urn there, you can see it on the right, with the white glowing around it. So we're going to pull this pack. And our Druid tree is going to use the urn, and there you go, that's a big AoE stun, so now we can just mess up all these mobs without having to worry too much. That's all the devoted dead. And then you've got the Hexer again, who's going to turn into the spirit when it dies. So it just needs to be purged. And obviously interrupt. No, maybe it's not the Hexes. Well, one of them. We'll work it out as we go along, everyone. This is a learning game together. Yeah, that do the spirit. But we're on 35%, which is why we went down and killed that other pack. Because now, when this all dies, we should on 40, and then it should spawn our prideful, and then we can take that prideful into the first boss, which is needed, because the first boss is a proper bag of dicks. If you do this boss first, that is, but I think this is the best way to do it. To make sure we kill those explosives, there's a healing wave going out. Just got my interrupt on it. There's a Blade Storm, I have nothing to stop it, so we just have to run away from it. This wing is just awful. Doing good jobs on the explosives there. There's our prideful. Need to get rid of those spirits. That's one gone, and I can't get rid of the other one for another 6 seconds, as you can see on my purge. You see me clicking it because I'm a dirty clicker. There's me with the prideful debuff, so I stood to the side so the beams fire out, and it was going to hit no one there. So our paladin there safe as well. We're taking it through. bit risky, a bit tight, but we want maximum time. We've got our drums ready as well. And then we're going to go straight into the boss. And where I'm going to have to admit early doors. There you go, there's Hero, there's Prideful. And Tyrannical, so this is proper horrible boss. And I have to admit, I'm not overly sure what the hell goes on in this fight. These red circles, you don't want to put them on anyone else, because when they expire, they will spread to the next person. If they're in your circle, that is. If there's no one in your circle, it's going to spread to no one. So you just want to make sure you spread apart with your circles. Kill the ads as soon as possible. And when they die, they leave these red blood patches on the floor. And as far as I'm aware, if the boss is in those red patches, that increases the size of his shield that he does. Because he does like a blood shield and you need to burn through it before you can carry on damaging. So the more ads that come out, there's more blood, which then makes the shield up quicker because he's soaking all of that blood for his shield. That's the blood barrier. Just need to nuke through it. It takes so much damage to get through. I don't know how people are doing this on like plus 25 or whatever. The barrier's ended, so just full nuke, corrupted blood on me, just make sure I'm staying spread. Ads, they can just do one over there somewhere, hopefully attack someone else. I'm melee. I'm smashing up the boss, I ain't got time to be running around. All of those ads are going to die underneath the boss, which probably isn't the best thing for its shield. Can't even get near the bloody thing. Just diving over the blood, and you've got to obviously watch out for that blood falling as well, that it shoots out from its blood barrier. And the barrier's just finished now, so hopefully we can just nuke it down before these ads do anything too troublesome. Nope, it's done another barrier. Hate this boss, it never ends. Just trying to find the gaps in the floor where I can DPS it. There's nothing fun about Tyrannical. It just goes on forever and ever. Don't do another blood again, mate. Thank Christ for that. So there you go, it's dead now. I've still got the red thing around me, and that can still be passed on even after the fight. And there is achievement to do that, but we obviously ain't doing that. And now, because Blizzard hates us, you've got to run back. There's not a teleporter. Even though they said they want to make this dungeon shorter. There's your answer. But, hey. Ran over there. And we're going to go back the way we went. And we've obviously killed quite a bit of trash on this already. So we're just going to go straight to the next wing. Dungeon does look good, I must say. But this is into the next wing now, which is the Mechagon wing, which I could have done like a few more expansions before I headed back to bloody Mechagon. I only just got out of there. Trash in this wing isn't too bad. There's a few troublesome mobs, but we'll talk through it as we go. So here you got the big spider robot thing first of all. When he does his haywire cast, we're going to have to line of sight it. Unless you've got like immunity, like a hunter bubble or a pally bubble rather, on a hunter shell and all stuff like that. I haven't. I've got blur, but I don't think it's going to do enough, so just line of sight it. Also line of sight's explosives as well, so it's kind of not too shabby. And get this drill dead. It's probably going to do another cast. I wonder if I try and blur this one. I can't remember now. It's a while ago since we've done this. No. It's dead. So Tank's going to pull these few mobs here together. And also, in the corner there, he did a vortex on those little lads. Because then they're just going to keep trying to run to us, but they can't get to us. They just get sucked in, so they just explode over there. So it's fine. They don't really do anything. They don't do bursting, so it's not too bad. These mobs, these little client things that need to be purged, but they put on their ability so fast, it's hard to purge all of them. You also need to interrupt all of anything else. You can see like discharges. There's the spinning up ability, which you need to not get hit by, because it's like an AoE spin around you. And then there's also the blue circle you see it putting out, one of the mobs there, which is like a silence when you get hit. It stuns everyone. So I just hugged it in the group because I'm an absolute clown. But yeah, run away with that. Finish off these mobs. Just got the 3 clients left. Interrupt the discharges and then let's do one more spin up so to avoid that. Oh, it looks like you can push it to stop happening. That's it. So now we go through this tunnel and then there's another one of these line of sight robot things. This is quite a good little place to do it here because it's right in the tunnel, so all you need to do is tuck behind there and you won't get hit. Or tuck behind the other side. And haywire again, so hide again. I'll try to get one more extra hit in. And I don't know why I did that. We're back, and that's the end of that. And now we're into the next part, which is kind of like, if you remember Nax Ram, it's like the Frogger game. It's kind of like that again. So again, we're just going to trap those little mobs, or root them, or whatever. Druids are great for this. And they'll just kill themselves on their own. Then all we've got left is the lubricator. And look at loads of explosives. So we're just line of sight on the explosive balls there, because there was about 50 of them. And we've got double lubricator. So we've marked one. I'm on the X. So it does 2 casts. One's the lubricate. And one is the heal. And obviously the heal is the most important one. So I'm just saving my interrupt for the heal. There it is. And I'll just use my other AoE interrupt just for if anything else is casting. And just get rid of it. My interrupt's coming off cooldown again now. So ready for the heal if it does it. There you go. Sorted. And now you just got to work your way through these green blobs without getting hit. If you do get hit, you take a shitload of damage. But luckily, we have an engineer. And if you have an engineer in your group, they can completely shut down this whole maze. So you don't have to worry about it. And then one more lubricator here. Get that explosive after I finish my I-beam. Save my interrupt for the heal. There it is. And after this, just going to be 3 more ads, which should spawn our next Prideful, which we'll take on to the next boss. And these little ads, they just do a just one cast of that essential oil. Just make sure you just interrupt it. You can assign a person to each one, but as long as you're getting some interrupts off, it's not the end of the world. Not the best place to spawn the Prideful. I mean, we could probably drag these ads through, but there's a little push off the side oil thing there, which if you do get hit by it, you do get thrown into the oil below and die instantly. So it's a bit of a risk. We're thinking about it, but I think we just spawn the Prideful here and then we just take the buff over. So some of us are going over already. We're not overly sure this is going to work because the Prideful will always spawn on one party member. I know in our luck it's going to spawn on the tank. No, it spawns on us, which is great. So now just hopefully the tank can get over here in time, or I can just taunt it and run. And then we're just going to fight the Prideful up here, which isn't too bad. We've got quite a bit of space. And then as soon as this is dead, then we can just jump straight back down and just go on to the next boss. Hero's going to wear off in 48 seconds, so we can use that. We're probably going to use it on Bitch Bag because she's annoying with her stupid fire from the sky cast. So yeah, get this down and then it's onto the Mana Storms again. The stupid little gnomes. You only fight one at a time. Start off by fighting Millhouse, and his abilities are he's going to just go do a bolt which needs to be interrupted. He's also going to put like a laser crystal thing down, which you see is casting now, and it's spawned at the back, but tree's intercepting, or was, and is now. You just need to intercept the beam from hitting the boss. So there's 2 now. So I'll run through to this one to stop hitting the boss. Because if you let it hit the boss, he just builds up damage. And then he also does like a laser on someone, which when it hits the player, they get stunned. But it does also stun the boss as well. So if you get a laser on you, DBM says it was on me there, when it isn't. It just seems to say it's on anyone. It just seems to go on a jolly, which is a bit annoying. Doom is the big explosion cast he's going to cast, but you need to get him to like 10%. I've put Darkness down just to stop us all taking shitloads of damage, and he's done. So now we're on to Maleficent, and we have popped Hero. This one, again, we'll do the stun circle, which you really need to make sure is underneath the boss to stun it, because she does some horrible abilities. She also does these squirrels that come out. It says squirrels, they're bombs, quite obviously. Which just need to be clicked and disarmed, and take a little bit of damage when you do that. But it's rather that or they explode and kill your group, so yeah. If you're fast enough, you can click it as she's doing the cast. Just spam click the boss and it will just get rid of him. Obviously we missed that one. And now she's going into a squirrel rocket chicken bullshit phase. So she's just going to stand there and just fire crap from the sky. And it really hurts. Even if it doesn't hit you, it really, really hurts. So you need to use all your cooldown, your personal cooldowns, health, pots and all that kind of shit. Anything that can keep you alive. If you get the stun circle, this is where you need to drag it underneath the boss, because then it will stun the boss. And it will stop part of the fight, and then you just carry on as normal. Luckily we had a battle res there. But again, you only need to get this woman to 10% as well. And keep disarming those bombs. Not too shabby. And then this little hatch opens here. Again, not a teleport, so you've got to run all the way back. And then you head to the last wing, which is Arden Wield. We did skip that. We reset that big red dude, so we're going to have to kill that on the way. He's probably hovering around somewhere. Just wait for the rest of the group. There he is up there. Don't want to take it all together, that would just be carnage. I reckon we can get that group without the red dude. I think that's what we're thinking about. Don't know what we're doing. Talk amongst yourselves. I think we might wait for it to come back. Oh no, gone around the side. Gonna try and get it on its own. Yeah, look at that. And then we're gonna bring it down. Just avoid us ninja pulling into anything. Avoid these masks. An explosive up the stairs. I don't know if this is line of sight around this. Nah, that's probably not going to be line of sight. That's probably going to hit us. We've done a good job of doing absolute 0 damage on the mob though. So there we go. Now we can start attacking it. And we lost one of our players, but you always spawn at the last wing you did. So let's spawn at the Mechagon wing. So it's just a quick run back. This dude hurts. Jesus. And now we can go up and take the rest of these mobs probably together, or we do it in 2 pulls. But we're going to try and drag them to the urn, because there's an urn in the corner there which will do a big AoE stun on all of these mobs, which you kind of need to do. This is the Death Speaker again, who does that shoot out beam in front of you. You see it's going towards, it was going towards a hill, it was going up the stairs, we kind of come up. But the urn stunned him. It works from quite a bit of distance as well, so that was lucky. Here's a darkness again, kind of half going up the stairs, kind of half not. And then we've pulled this pack in There's no reason not to. It's not like bolstering, or it's not necrotic or anything like that. You can just keep chain pulling. And one little mob left. And he's dead. So let him go up here into the Ardenweald wing. There's no like trash in this little corridor, just like shit that fires out from the walls you just need to avoid. It's alright for me. I can just jump over and leap. Also got my Door of Shadows if I want to use it. Look at that. Absolute pimp. Bit harder for other classes, like paladins and whatever, because they're a shit movement. Oh no, we lost one. That's right, we're res over here. Who's going to win the res war? There you go. And then this part of the dungeon, again, I'm not overly sure, because sometimes I tank it, what you need to kill fully for percent, but what we want to aim to do is do 100% here, and do our hero onto the third boss, because the last boss is a bit wank for hero, because he disappears, and you'll see it anyway. So here we just pick up shitloads of trash, and just go down and just literally just wing it. I've got a curse on me where it's on them for a minute, and if I stand still for too long, we get stunned, so I have to keep jumping. You can obviously get cleansed off of you, but if it doesn't, then just keep jumping. Your DBM should tell you to keep jumping. I'm just going to keep chain pulling all of this trash. Oh yeah, so also a silent zone on the floor, which is quite hard to see sometimes. So it's those little blue circles in a blue background, in a blue area, which is handy. And the trash in here can be a bit shit. Some of it's like 0.6% or whatever. So obviously I've got an add-on that tells me, but I'm not Rachel Riley. I can't add that up as I go, so it's kind of just wing it. Silent zone again. Doing alright here. We've got we're on to 17 deaths now, so it's quite smooth. These Elder Horns do a big like debuff on the tank, but it just stacks up. I can't remember the name of it. It's just like a bleed or some shit. It's not too bad if it's just one, but if you pull like two together or whatever, like, it can get a bit tasty. Just lots to avoid and lots of hard shit to see. This might spawn our prideful, this one. No. As I mean, I only gave 1%. You would have thought, looking at it, it gives a lot more than that, but no. 1.04 these Elder Horns give, so... and we've got a few little ones. In fact, we've got two here. So whatever happens, we're going to get prideful here. And me just launching my Glavely explosive. Excuse me. It's not COVID, don't worry. So let's kill these two at the same time, and then that should spawn. There he is. Creepy little red man. And then I'm just going to have one more red man left, which we should use on the last boss. Because it can be a bit of a bitch, that one. You've got a lot of space to play with here, so... So this is going to give us a nice... I'm desperately trying not to hit everyone there. A nice 30% damage increase for a minute. Plus we've got the urn up here. So realistically we could go quite big here, provided we like line of sight some of these explosives. So we've just pulled like a big group here. Probably going to get out patrol as well. Yeah, and probably use the urn about now. There you go, yeah, it's been done. Now we can just nuke the shit out of these. To be honest, we probably could have gone a bit bigger as well, but like I say, we don't know how much we need. If you do mess up the percent, there's always little places you can go and get some more. But we just want to make sure we definitely get 100 before this third boss. So now we just hope there's 14% worth down here. So we're going to have to be on an explosive watch here because we've pulled quite a big group. And I've got the curse on me again, so I need to keep jumping just to stop that happening. And watch out for the blue zones on the floor. See, my DBM's telling me to jump. It's quite handy to have. Tried to use my AoE stun, but I was in the silent zone, so that didn't happen. 90%. I don't think that's enough. I've just got this pack here, and then there's a patrol that comes up and down as well, so you'd hope it is enough. I'm not convinced. This is why I hate tanking this place. I've got that bloody curse on me again. So you just keep chain pulling, there's nothing wrong with it this week. And we have, whether that was meant to, launch my glaive at that explosive. I know someone got it. Quick AoE stun just to get myself into some rhythm. 94%. 95. Use darkness there. Probably not the best idea with this boss coming up because I'm sure something's going to happen, but maybe the tank was low. I wasn't actually paying that much attention. This is definitely not going to be 100. Yeah. Should we go back and get something? The big dragon's worth 3.12. That would have done it. It's a shit mob to fight this. You don't really want to fight it. But we needed something. I can't remember why it's crap. It does something, but that's, I mean, we hardly ever put it. I can't remember what it does. Oh, that. Get the hell out of that. I think it sucks you in and it fears you if you get hit by it. But we're going to drag it down towards the boss so we can get the prideful maximum time. Kill that explosive on the way. See, there's a trash down here to the you can't really see it, to the right now, or to the left now as you're looking at it. But you have to pull quite a bit, and when you pull like one mob, it seems to pull like 15 of his mates with him. But this will be fine. This is the time waste, this mob. Right, good though, got prideful coming. And we're going to use this on this boss, probably with hero as well. Because you don't really need it on the last boss, because you'll get split up into your own groups. Can be helpful, but it's tyrannical, so it's probably going to take a few rounds anyway. I think we have the damage to do what we need to do. I had to backtrack there, miles. I was nearly at the last boss there if I carried on. So, dealer Zyxa, whatever the hell his name is, that day. I've even popped a potion here and metamorphosis. I'm ready for this boss. He can be quite evil. He puts displacement traps on the floor. Always 5 with the amount of party members you've got. And occasionally it goes in rotation. So there you just got a localized one. So it's just one person needs to stand into a trap, get blown up in the air, and when it explodes you need to be on a different level to the rest of your team. So if you're in midair when you explode, that's fine. The rest of the party don't take damage. Then he's going to do a big group one explosion where everyone needs to get inside and fly up in the sky and don't get hit. Because he does a big eruption on the floor, and if you're up in the air, you won't get hit. That's not too bad. Just need to make sure you don't stand in the traps when they spawn. Avoid this blast wave. That's not too bad to avoid. But the main killer ability is the bloody arcing lightning, which is on me now. And it lasts for I think it's 8 seconds, and then when it expires, it will jump to the nearest target. So it's gone off me now, and it's gone onto the tank. I'm already on 4 stacks, so if he bounces it back to me, I'm just going to be taking shitload of damage. So I'm probably just going to piss away from him and let him bounce it to someone else. I didn't even get a trap there. They all chavved mine. Some more traps coming out. Arcane Lightning on our Paladin, which will bounce in a minute. I can take it again now. It's worn off me. Okay, it's on me again, which is good. And that's what he needs to do in this fight. The main thing is just bouncing this debuff around, because it does a shitload of damage, as well as everything else going on. That's probably just blast everything on this boss, because it can get ugly real quick, especially with these explosives. 4%. Die. There you go. And now you click on this little portal, and you get flown back. We'll always do it with what you're riding, so if you want to be fancy and ride a mount, it will always teleport you on your mount, which is quite funny, especially if you're that big, massive tree. And then we've got 5 minutes 45 to kill the last, well, probably about 5 minutes by the time we get there to kill the last boss. So at this point, we're probably going to start marking ourselves with marks above our head so we know where we're going, but we are all on Discord at this point, so we're probably just chatting about it. I usually take front left, I don't know why, that's my preference. But what you need to do for this boss, you've cleared all the trash now, it's just you and the boss, and then that's your victory or loss. This boss is tricky as well. So occasional intervals you need to split up. So obviously I'm going to go to the blue, I think. We've put our markers down on the ground and we're going to mark people's heads. And when it does its reality phase, we need to run into those marks. But I'll tell you that in a minute when we get to it. So the main abilities this boss does is this artifice thing, which slows people down and does damage. So you need to, if you get it, just run to the back of the room, drop it, and then run back into the group. He also does a combination of attacks. One is like a beam to the left, one's a beam to the right, and one's a big smash in the middle. You don't want to get hit by any of them. So if he's doing one of them, just move to the opposite side. And if he's doing the big crash in the middle, just get out of the middle. If you do get hit by the crash in the middle, you take a shitload of like ticking damage. And just a shitload of damage in general. But you've always got to be close to the boss. So you see we're moving left here because he's doing his left beam. Out in the middle, which is lucky, so I can just drop my stuff there. And then we start moving right because we know he's going to be doing that beam there. And now he's going to go into his shattered reality phase. And it's going to spawn... Oh, I'll go to this one. 4 portals. And one person needs to take each portal. And it's going to spawn 4 copies of himself on each portal. You need to kill it whilst avoiding all of the shit he spews out on the floor. And then click the totem that's behind you. And if all 4 of you do it, it's like a 25% haste increase for each totem that gets clicked. So the ideal thing here is to kill all of them and then get back to the boss, and then you can probably kill the boss off, to be honest. Mine is done, so I've killed it. Here's a totem. See my DBM add-on saying that coalescing, whatever the hell that is. 5 seconds left, and then we're all going to get sucked in. But I think all of them have been killed. If you don't, yes, look, there's the haste buff. 1 stack of it, 2 stacks of it, 3 stacks of it. It refreshes as well, so we've got 10 seconds. Oh, 4 stacks, yeah, so we've got all 4. And we can just absolutely melt the boss, and the fight ends when you get to like 11%. So if you don't kill any of them, or mainly if you don't click that totem and you get sucked back to the beginning, it just means you have to go a whole nother round doing all this. And then when he does his reality phase, you need to click back on that portal and then go back and kill that totem again. Not the other ones because you've already killed them. I'll just kill off the remaining ones and then come back to this and then finish off the boss. And that's the fight. I hope that made sense. There's quite a lot to cover on that. Avoid shit. Avoid the beams left and right and the middle. Drop this purple crap to the back. Go into your portal in the shattered reality. Come back and nuke the boss hard. And that's it. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. It's not my favourite dungeon, but I'm pleased I've got this out of the way. We are going to be doing all the dungeons. Like I said, all of the raid bosses. Probably some other fun shit at some point. But yeah. just keep watching. I'm not going to be like, give us a like and subscribe, because whatever. If you want to, you will. If you don't, you won't. 13%. I'm sure it ends at 11 or 10. Somewhere around there. We're not going to get another phase of totem, so it's basically this till the end. And we've got 1 minute 30 to do it. Worst thing you can have in this fight, obviously, is a death, because then that's one of the portals completely ruined. So if one person dies before the first portal phase, you might as well just wipe and go again. But anyway, yep, that thing's pretty much dead. Thank you very much for watching, and we shall see you in the next one. Goodbye.